Hey guys, Sarah from Sweet Sense from the Dollhouse. If you're new to my channel, this might not be the video for you, but I totally understand if you want to scroll down and find a wax related video or one of my different hauls. If you're returning waxy, as always, welcome back. I'm doing a little bit of a most requested follow-up video. As you can see, I posted, what was it? A thrift shop haul this weekend with Gracie, and I am wearing one of the outfits that I purchased. Obviously you can't see it very well when I'm sitting down like this, but I'm going to insert the photo here. So aside from adding a belt and my Jessica Simpson pumps, couple accessories that I had laying around already, that is a $7 outfit, folks. I swear thrift shopping is a total addiction to me because the cheaper the better. Oh, I love finding vintage stuff. I love finding name brand stuff like those True Religion jeggings that I bought. I love it. It's so fun. It's almost like treasure hunting, but for people who are fashion. What is the word I'm looking for? Why am I having such a brain fart today? This is going to be a really hard video to film. Let's see if I can do it in one take. Fashion savvy. I don't know. Whatever the word is. But anyways, the first video that I wanted to follow up on was a more controversial video. I filmed a video about why I avoid the internet because, in a roundabout way, I'm allergic to stupidity, and I used a YouTuber as an example of such. I just wanted to give a big shout out and a thanks to everyone who participated in that little social experiment. It was one of my most engaging videos that I have on my channel today, whether it was likes, dislikes, comments. A lot of you guys messaged me, which as a content creator was amazing. It generated buzz, and I hope that you guys know that it wasn't done with the intent to offend anybody. On this channel, I've always maintained, whether it's about product reviews or just anything that I put up here, I always ask myself before I film something, is it true? Do I have resources to back it up? And also, before I form an opinion, I always ask myself, is this opinion based on fact or is it based on my emotions? Because when you weigh those two things out, fact versus emotions, you're going to have a very different opinion or a very different reaction to something, anything, controversial topics or whatever it may be. So it's a really good rule of thumb. But to everybody who participated in that, it was amazing, absolutely amazing to see people discuss their country's strengths, their weaknesses. It was raw. It was beautiful, brutally honest. And all in all, the little social experiment really worked. It was nice to see that, you know, the biggest, greatest, bestest mentality isn't widespread. Tons of my subscribers discuss their country's strengths and weaknesses in a very, very candid way. And I know that that's not always easy. Like speaking up, speaking out, or admitting that your shit stinks, or that things aren't always perfect, or we don't have this under control, or we could improve on this, but this is not so bad, or what have you. It's really refreshing because unfortunately, I find in this day and age, people misuse social media especially to preach ridiculous nonsense. It's just, a lot of it is nonsense. You'll find a lot of keyboard warriors or assholes who are just low-key ignorant, low-key racist, unintelligent, but get up on their soapbox and have this all holier than now mentality, and it's offensive and it's not good for anyone. That vile content creator I had mentioned in that video, her videos are just, they're heinous. And it's protected under the guise of freedom of speech. And she claims that she doesn't do YouTube for anybody but herself. Her YouTube channel is her therapy for mental illness. If you go to her channel, you know how they do like a little snapshot, the intro to the channel video. She says, you know, what does she say? I preach self-love and I'm an advocate for equal rights, or some horse shit shenanigans like that. I don't know. I think she's had her channel for like 9 years. It's an older channel, so perhaps once upon a time those were her original intentions for the channel, but it's just taken a toll for the worst. I've seen a video where she physically confronts an elderly woman. Like she calls her on. She tells her old lady to come at me. Like, what? You want to fight elderly people? What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? And going back to the video where she says, still the freest country in the world. That's like all the little old lady did was look at her. Just look at her. And she starts a verbal confrontation and then calls her physically on for a look. That's the bonus of living in one of the 88 free countries in the world, is that we are free to look at one another. But does a glance constitute a verbal thrashing and potential physical attack? And why are you filming this and putting it on YouTube for the world to see? She also says, you know, she excuses it by saying that these people are staring at her or they're fat shaming her. I'm a curvy girl. I'm by no means fat, but I'm also not skinny at all. I'm a curvy girl, but I dress for my age. I dress for my body type. I wear a bra when I go out in public. I wash my hair. I don't walk around with the vlogging camera in my face either. You know? Do people look at me? Sure. But I just think if you go out in public looking and acting like a train wreck and you're videotaping yourself while you do it, I think people are going to look. And not because they're fat shaming you. They wouldn't be fat shaming if you were wearing, if you weren't wearing clothes that were like 18 years too young for you and 17 sizes too small for you. They wouldn't look if you weren't cussing and swearing like a sailor, acting a damn fool with a vlogging camera in your face. And shortly after I uploaded that video where I say it as it is, I call her out for being a racist because that's what she is. She posts 2 daily vlogs, one of which she goes on to a great big rant about how she was bullied by 2 Walmart employees. And I'm not here to say whether or not it happened or it didn't happen. I don't know. I wasn't there. But coincidentally, she never catches the fat shaming on camera. She just catches her lash out and freak out attacks. So, it is what it is. But she claims that these 2 Walmart employees, she was a victim of reverse racism. She was bullied by 2 black Walmart employees. And she goes on and on and on to say that had the roles been reversed, it would have been front page news, or CNN would be there reporting on it had it been a black person who was abused by 2 white Walmart employees. So, play me the world's smallest violin. It's funny how her message was, if you think you're oppressed, if you're a minority and you think you're oppressed in this country, well, get out. And then all of a sudden she's jumping on, giving them, synopsis of how she's white and oppressed. Fuck off. Just fuck off. And then shortly after that, there's also a video where she's shopping in Target. And I don't know who she was with in the video, but the camera pans to the aisle and it shows these two women. They're in like beautiful long dresses, like just dressed to the nines. I'm just envisioning it was probably like a girls' shopping trip. They're happy-go-lucky, minding their own business, not doing anything wrong. Again, free country. They're free to look wherever they want. Minding their own business, shopping, chit-chatting, laughing together to one another. And this vile YouTube creator screams at them and tells them to eat her effing. Really? Really? And again, she's like, they're staring at me. They're fat shaming me. Coincidentally, they were two black women. Two black women, again, that she's berating at being just downright vile towards in a public setting. She thinks it's okay to film it and upload it to YouTube. That's okay. That's okay. It's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. So in what has it been? Under a week? Under a week, I call her out for being a racist, and she totally proves my point. In under a week, she uploads not one, but 2 vlogs where she's downright racist for the world to see. I don't know. I also thought that it was hilarious that one of her video titles was agoraphobic. Trust me, I'm like clinical agoraphobic. And it made my skin crawl because the video is entitled Agoraphobia, but it follows her to Starbucks, Walmart, the beach, Target, wherever. But she's agoraphobic. She's not agoraphobic. There's no medical or mental diagnosis for what this girl has. What this girl has is inbred, ignorant stupidity. That's it. It's just straight up dumb as shit. Stupidity. You don't need a doctor to diagnose that. And as somebody who has legitimate OCD, clinical mood and anxiety disorder with bouts of agoraphobia, I can tell you for sure, without a doubt, that when I'm forced to leave my house, and that's the only time I leave my house, thankfully, I have the luxury of being able to work from home. But when I'm forced to leave my house, I avoid eye contact with people, if at all possible. I literally shrink down, try and remain invisible, and I'm like hiding my face. I don't want to talk to anybody, even like staff who are super nice to me and just trying to be accommodating. I stutter and I'm awkward and I'm weird. You know, I'm terrified that if I open my mouth and say something, I'm going to blurt out something stupid. So it's honestly, watching me in public is painful because I'm legit agoraphobic. But having these mental illnesses or diagnoses doesn't make me racist, doesn't make me ignorant, certainly doesn't make me aggressive. Like everything in her video contradicts all of these fake illnesses that she has, like verbatim. And there's another video which I really found interesting. I worked in body modification for several years, and I didn't realize how annoying it was when people take their friends or record in a public place until I worked in body modification. It used to annoy me when young people would take friends with them to get a tattoo. Because in tattooing and body modification, we work really hard to make sure that you're coming into a sterile environment. And then you'd get to your appointment, but you bring 5 of your buddies with you. Well, put 5 buddies in a tattoo booth. It's no longer sterile. They bring McDonald's and they're talking on their cell phones. They slide the cell phone across the table and they're hacking into their hand. And yeah, no longer sterile. But anyhow, they're also recording. And when I go to work, or at the time, when I was going to my place of employment, I was going there to do my job, get paid, and leave. I wasn't there to be on your Facebook Live, you know? So I just think that when people do these vlogs or public filming, they have very little regard for other people's privacy. And that's not to say all. Like, there's very responsible content creators who will ask permission, and if they aren't granted permission, they'll blur out their faces. But this vile YouTube creator just films everybody. Like, I wonder if these two beautiful, minding their own business, happy-go-lucky black women had her permission, or gave their permission before she put them on YouTube. I highly doubt it. I highly doubt it. So perhaps she should reconsider verbally assaulting people and putting their image on the internet. But all the same, in one of her more recent videos, she films, her and her boyfriend are in Walmart. And she gets up to the cash register. And again, allegedly, the Walmart employee covered her face. She didn't film, but she films her freak out. She alleges that the Walmart employee covered her face because she has her dog in a purse in the Walmart cart. I don't know, like that Paris Hilton late 90s bullshit, or I don't know when it was, early 2000s. Like, I thought vets and animal rights activists around the world had publicized and written 10 million articles about how heinous those dog bags are and how it's not good to keep your dog in a purse because it's terrible on the joints and ligaments in their knees. But irregardless, that's not my business. And, you know, so what? She covered her face. First of all, she's at Walmart, minding her own business, doing what she needs to do to get paid and go home. She's not about being on your social media or your fucking YouTube channel. That's not her job. Her job is to be a cashier and to ring you out. So, you know, I also find it funny because she's all about, you know, she's all for women who, you know, women's rights and against domestic assault and rape. And she talks all the time about, you know, how bad women have it. But then she'll film perfect strangers in public places. I thought to myself, you know, poor girl, maybe she blocked her face. Maybe she'd left a dangerous situation. Perhaps she doesn't want to be identified on social media or on YouTube. What if she left a domestic situation and doesn't want her ex to know where she is? Perhaps she doesn't want to be identified working in your local Walmart. There's a million reasons why that cashier might have hit her face. I'm just saying, you know that saying, like, walks like a duck, talks like a duck? Kind of the same thing. If it smells like what it looks like, I might cover my face too. Just a hot mess. Hot mess. Maybe she stunk. I'm not talking about the dog. Okay? So, a subscriber comments down below in the most diplomatic way. In the most diplomatic way. Something along the lines of, you know, no need to try and make her look bad on YouTube. Maybe, perhaps, she has a dog allergy. You know, again, going back to freest country in the world. It's a free country, you know. Freedom of speech doesn't only go one way. The subscriber has the right to freedom of speech too. Oh no. Oh no. The verbal onslaught that came afterwards was appalling. So she says something, I'm not even going to go back to quote her directly because I won't even give her the view count. I won't even. She says something along the lines of, I didn't even have to click on your channel to know that you are a wax bitch. Is that a prerequisite of being a wax bitch? That you're a fucking know-it-all? In my case, yes, actually it is. No, I shouldn't laugh. Because in all regard, it gets worse. It gets worse. And again, I can't quote her exactly, but she goes on to say, let me guess, your husband can't stand you. He works late to avoid you and would rather flap off to porn than be anywhere near you. For suggesting that perhaps a Walmart employee has an allergy to dogs? That's the response? Okay, case in point. The YouTube therapy isn't working. Petey, my man, get your girls some real help. Real talk. That is fucked. Like, psychopath fucked. And much like how in her video she said, if you're a minority, if you're oppressed in this country and you don't like it, leave. She said the same thing to this subscriber. If you don't like what's on my channel, leave. Even though her boyfriend says the same thing in the video. The exact same thing. And given his tense body language in the video, I'm going to guess her comment and her verbal assault of this subscriber was a little bit of projection, I'm guessing, based on her boyfriend's body language and his general demeanor towards her in the video. Just, he looks so tense, like, can we please get out of here without an incident? Like, gripping the fucking cart for dear life. That must be like going out in public with a ticking time bomb. That would be scary. As a real agoraphobic, that would be my worst nightmare. My worst nightmare. Whew. Not that it's any of this person's business, but this subscriber also happens to be one of my subscribers and now friends, somebody I love to bits. But the man she thrashed, who inadvertently has nothing to do with this, the man who allegedly doesn't love his wife, works late, and flaps off to porn, is, again, quite the contrary. Total fucking opposite. He happens to be a landed immigrant from the Philippines who honorably retired from the United States military. Yeah. So that means he's at home and with his wife all the time. Loves his wife off. Total opposite. Absolute total opposite of what she alleged. I don't know. I think the girl needs real therapy or a muzzle, perhaps a combination of both. But these videos, they've been reported for hate speech and bullying, the physical attack or the calling on of the elderly woman, the hate speech towards the black people, about, it's just vile, screaming. Just awful. Could you imagine in Target? Oh, no, my skin is crawling just even thinking about it. But, that's the thing about the YouTube community and freedom of speech is we do live in free countries. We do have social media platforms where, we do have a little platform. When you have an audience, whether it's 2 people, 10 people, 50 people, 10,000 people, you do have a little platform and an audience. And we have to be a little bit more responsible for how we use it and what we're putting out into the world and into our communities. So if you see any hate speech, nonsense, such as this vile YouTube content creator, please, please, please report. The YouTube community doesn't need assholes like this. They aren't protected under freedom of speech. This kind of behavior is not protected under freedom of speech. It's actually totally against the YouTube community standards guidelines. So it's super easy. If you're watching, and not just this channel, I'm sure there's other channels, but if you're watching, there's a little report button. Click that. Stop it, rewind it, make sure you've heard it, click report, it will come up, and it's time stamping the video for YouTube because it's a huge, like, think of how many YouTube creators are out there now. Tons, right? So they don't have time to police every single channel, but that will timestamp the video for them, and you write what they've done wrong or what they have done in the video that is against the YouTube community guidelines, and they will review the video and decide to take it down. And if a channel has enough strikes against them, they just delete the YouTube channel entirely. So it's a great way to make sure these people masquerading around as YouTube therapy bullshit, and what it is actually just downright stupidity, ignorance, and white supremacy, you know, just take the trash out and, you know, we can carry on. I do feel bad though, because unfortunately, and this is something that I was learning about in school this week, is the importance of strategic alliances with small businesses. And I feel bad because there are a couple vendors who have teamed up with said vile YouTube content creator. And I don't know if they watched her videos before they asked her to do reviews and promote their businesses for them. I don't know. I, as a small business owner, would watch every single video before I sent anybody product and made an alliance with them. They call it a strategic alliance for a reason, but if you pair yourself with somebody who abuses elderly people and hates blacks and minorities and spreads hate speech on YouTube, odds are your products are never going to be reviewed or featured on my channel. Just saying. So be careful. And you don't even have to be a small business owner. Just anybody. You could just be you. Just be watching YouTube. You know, you have a voice too. You don't have to be a small business owner to have strategic alliances. Be mindful of who you support. You know. Anyhow. That's enough of that white trash bullshit. I'm not talking about her on my channel ever again. I'm over it. But I'm super excited. I don't know what I'm going to entitle it. I'm going to do a little mini series on my channel about the importance of remaining teachable, because I think that that is so important. I just finished editing a video that I'm really, really scared to post. It's about an example of a time that I am not proud of. And it's not me being racist, but I was pretty judgmental. I said some pretty nasty things, and I will regret it for the rest of my life. And I'm uploading that video in the next 2 weeks, so stay tuned and watch that. But the whole point of the video is what I learned from that experience, what I got out of that experience, and what I learned from it, right? So stay tuned for that. Follow up to the second most engaged video, most requested Monday on my channel. I know you guys have probably been waiting. I've had several people message me about it, but everybody wants to know the tea on the missing hauls. So I made a video a couple weeks ago explaining where a bunch of my missing hauls went. The reason I did that is because I have always said on my channel since the very beginning, and it's just been over a year now, or actually, are we coming up to my 1-year anniversary on YouTube? Can't remember. I should figure that out. If we haven't passed it, I will do a 1-year anniversary video. But anyhow, since the beginning of time on this channel, I've always said the whole point of this is honesty. I wanted to make a channel where I could speak openly and honestly, do honest product reviews, so on and so forth, for my customers, originally as a Scentsy consultant, and then I've kind of just branched out and done all things home fragrance, right? But when I said I'm going to do something, or when I say I'm doing something rather on this channel, I do it. So when I said I was doing all of these hauls and they never came and my viewers asked me about them, I had to be dishonest. Or I had to pretend I didn't see that comment or miss that, you know? That's not very honest. So I apologize for that. I should have been a little bit more transparent right from the get-go. But I don't know why. And I shouldn't stand here ever making excuses for myself, because that's never what this channel was intended for. The only thing that I can say is that, oh, and to catch anybody up, what had happened was I befriended somebody in the wax chat groups and community on Facebook months and months and months ago. Talked to her about 4 or 5 months, developed a friendship with her, and I sent her $686 US worth of product that she was boxing. We had split on orders and picked up big, huge D-stashes and split on them. We went together on a bunch of different things. I did the conversion, which works out to roughly like $910 Canadian, so about $1,000 worth of product she stole. She never ended up sending it. I had chased her from December, October, November, or sorry, no, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July. It's 9 months. Okay, could have had a fucking baby. Chased her for 9 months, was met with countless excuses, bogus excuses, just downright lies. Originally it was, you know, she didn't have money, and I said, you don't need money. I'm paying the international shipping on all 3 large flat rate boxes because it was $1,000 worth of stuff, or roughly 700 American. So imagine how big that is. I said, you don't need money for that. I'm paying for it. Oh, well, I'm sick. Oh, my son's sick. Oh, this, oh, that. There was always an excuse as to why she couldn't take my stuff to the post office. Oh, now I'm baking you cookies, or now I want to get you a Christmas gift. I'll send it next week. I'll send it next week, into January. And then February and March, I just finally said, enough's enough. Like, I'm going to PayPal you money right now. I need you today to take my stuff to the post office because my passport expires March 25th. I am going to Michigan on the 20th. I need my stuff. Like, no more excuses, no more nonsense. Just do it. She told me all of a sudden they were homeless and that they were living in a hotel, and everything that was in their storage unit, including $700 worth of my wax, was destroyed when her storage unit leaked. But then I got screenshots of her in wax group saying, I've got glitterati warming in every room of my house. And she's ISOing and she's destashing and she's this, that, the other thing. I'm like, huh? How come you have wax, but all my wax got ruined? I thought everything you owned was in a storage unit. Like, her lies just didn't add up. I have cervical cancer now. I can't talk to you. What? What? Like, and I was trying to remain diplomatic and I was trying to be cool about it. I made a video basically saying, this is what happened to those hauls. I didn't mean to lie on my channel. I didn't mean to, like, blow off any of my subscribers, but this is how it is. I'm going to cut my losses and forget it. This was a teachable moment for me, folks, because after I posted that video, comments started to come in, and nobody was rude. None of my subscribers are rude. Nobody was like, you owe us a name. It wasn't like that. All of my subscribers were like, oh my word, Sarah, I am so sorry that happened to you. That is ridiculous. ridiculous, like that you were that trustworthy and that she would do you like that. Like, that is awful. That is awful. But Sarah, I understand you don't want to say her name or start drama or so on and so forth. But how would you feel if she does that to somebody else? Or just because you're willing to take $1,000 hit doesn't mean the next person wants to. And I go back to my little rule of thumb, 3 minutes, 3 hours, 3 days. And I read the comments. And that was like, they kept coming in and kept coming in. And that was everybody's general consensus. I'm sorry she did you dirty, but what about the next person? And instead of being reactionary and jumping back online and making a video saying either yay or nay, I'm not releasing a name, I thought about it. And in that moment, I'm like, I need to remain teachable. My subscribers are totally right. By not saying something for 9 months, I could inadvertently be to blame for her continuing to rip people off. Odds are I'm not the first one. But this past weekend, I told her for damn sure I will do everything in my power to be the last. And again, going back to, I got to know her for the better part of 4 or 5 months, and the girl doesn't have a lot going for her. And I'm not playing a little violin trying to say, like, feel sorry for her. But based on getting to know her and my interactions with her, she doesn't have a lot going for her. She doesn't have a job. She lives on Facebook 24 hours a day, which is also hilarious in the emails when she'd say, oh, I didn't get your email for 2 weeks because I've been in the hospital, but you're on Facebook every minute of every hour of every day. You know, so she doesn't have a lot going for her. She lives on Facebook, and she had an incident in the Scentsy community where tons of amazing, good-hearted Scentsy people donated stuff to her autistic son. And then I found out later, after the fact, she wasn't well received in the Scentsy community because they had reason to believe that she then in turn sold those donations for profit. So she was given the great old big Scentsy boot. And I think instead she found camaraderie or the passion for wax in the indie vendor community. So it was also very coincidental that, you know, I've got 8 months worth of emails of excuses and nonsense. When I finally got stern with her and said, I'm not baffled by your bullshit anymore, the very next day, she contacted all of the admins of the D-Stash pages. She reached out to several vendors even, offering to bake them cookies, and started doing glitterati giveaways. Because, you know, she was terrified I was going to open my mouth, and she wanted to come off as a saving grace of the wax community. But I don't give a shit what you do. I have receipts, I have the emails, like all that doesn't matter. A thief's a thief at the end of it, you know. And I did feel bad for her because she doesn't have a lot going for her. So instead of being reactionary, I take some time to think about it. And every day I thought about it, and I'm like, my subscribers are right. My subscribers are 100% right. And I need to do something to fix this. At the same time, several of my subscribers and friends had texted me screenshots because I'm no longer on Facebook, aka the first video, I'm allergic to stupidity. I cannot handle the dumbasses that live and breed on Facebook. But they were texting me pictures that this person was selling mystery boxes in the D-Stash groups, correct me if I'm wrong, because I am by no means a pro. Obviously, I'm not in them. But I thought that D-stashes or mystery boxes were banned from D-stashes. Because, okay, this is just going to be like a hypothetical here. So say you spent $75 and you thought in turn you were going to get 65 ounces of wax. And this is my understanding or my logic around why mystery boxes were banned or should be banned. So say you think you're getting all of this wax, you pay for it through PayPal, tickety-boo, you receive it, and it's 35 ounces of wax. I'm pretty sure most of the admins have banned mystery D-stashes because they don't have time to babysit grown-ass adults. And if somebody rips you off, it's really hard to go back if you weren't really agreeing to buying something specific, if that makes sense. So if you're new to vendor wax or those D-stash pages, they're all different. They're all run by totally unique individuals who all have their own rules, and the pages all operate by different standards, but kind of the same thing, right? Admins don't have time to babysit grown-ass adults. So the rules are typically pinned at the very top of the page, and 9 out of 10 of them, from the ones that I've seen, clearly state that you need to weigh and photograph everything that you're selling. Because she stole almost $1,000 worth of stuff from me, I think she forgot what was mine and what wasn't. I think the majority of it she sold successfully in these D-stash groups in mystery boxes, and she's continuing to sell mystery boxes. I also believe that she gave a lot of it away. There was several ROAKs that she did, but the people who received them had to flip the clams upside down. I have pictures of those because they were my Wax Wednesday Super Tarts clamshells. Nice. And then, as I say, there was so much of it, she forgot what was mine, so I do have screenshots of her selling my stuff on the D-stash pages. So my friends are all texting me saying, you know, Sarah, have you considered it? Like, your subscriber base is right. You should probably say something. Because if she's continuing to get away with selling mystery boxes in these groups, like, what would be the benefit of selling mystery boxes? Right? Unless it's older shit you can't move, stuff nobody else wants, stuff you haven't successfully sold in D-stashes, or, in this girl's case, it's stolen stuff. Not cool. Not cool. And again, inadvertently, I feel responsible. But I also feel sorry for her because she doesn't have anything else going for her. So, to give her the benefit of the doubt, I messaged her last weekend and I told her, I'm done with you entirely. I won't chase you down for the money you owe me. I won't even deal with you, period, because there's a lot of things I can't stand in this world, but one of the biggest ones are people who steal. Like, if you want nice shit, get a fucking job. But, irregardless, I gave her the benefit of the doubt. I gave her the heads up. I said, you know, I'll let you get away with this, free and clear, whatever. You don't owe me any money, but I won't let you get away with stealing from anybody else. So, I am going to make a YouTube video. I'm going to name drop. And now it's up to you. You have an opportunity to remove yourself from the D-stash pages, take down your stolen mystery boxes, and carry on your own free will. Like, leave yourself so you don't get booted, or so you don't get, you know, comments of, you know, no, I'm not buying this from you because I know it's stolen, or what have you, you know. So I gave her the benefit of the doubt, told her, you know, you ripped me off fair and square, want nothing to do with you ever, but you're not getting away with this anymore. It took 3 days and 4 installments But all of a sudden, and only because I told her I was making this video, did she pay me back $686 collectively over the course of 9 months. But she has all of a sudden paid me back. Should I have threatened to tell you guys 8 months ago? Obviously, I would have saved myself a lot of time, hassle, and bullshit. But yeah. So that's it, guys. That's the tea. It is paid off. But my subscribers were totally right. And what got my goat the most was today a friend texted me a screenshot. And I will add it right here, but it says Rhonda Ann Clairneau. I am DISO a few things for me and a new friend. I was her friend in November. She was ISOing stuff for me in November. Now she has a new friend. It goes on to list Rose Girls Americana Smoothie, Southbound Soap, Glitterati. I am PayPal ready or have stuff to trade. So that was the shit kicker for me. She's got a new friend who she's searching for wax for, taking their money on PayPal and likely not going to ever send it. That's it, folks. That is the end of the drama. I have several requests for Most Requested Monday coming up, but if you have any more ideas or things you want me to talk about, goodness knows I've talked about it all so far in these last 2 videos. Comment down below. Subscriber's choice. Thanks so much for watching. See you in my next video.